Hey guys, welcome back to BMW Fanatic. And this DIY video that we're going to do here today, we're going to remove the turbo heat shield that's on the left side of the engine. Reason being is that when you have an oil leak like your valve cover gasket, you're going to have oil that's going to pool up through that heat shield. You have a lot of residual oil. It's going to seep through the crevices on that heat shield. So it's best to remove it off and clean it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to remove it, how to clean it, and of course, we'll put it back on. Now you may be wondering why I'm doing this now. Well, for the longest time I had a really bad valve cover gasket leak. Once I finally got around to replacing it with a brand new genuine BMW OE valve cover from FCP Euro. If you haven't checked out that DIY on how to change out that N54 valve cover gasket as you see right here, check out the video up above. Great DIY, pretty extensive as far as to try to document it, but I wanted to make sure to take the time to show you guys step by step, so that way it's easier for you to do the DIY. Now if you take it to the dealership, it's about $1,200, give or take, plus or minus a little bit, so it's still pretty expensive as far as if you take it somewhere. Indie shop will be of course cheaper than that. However, you can do it at home and still save you, like, let's say the $500 if someone else charges you something less. And then with everything else, all tools used in this video will be down in the description box below, and all the cleaning methods that I've been using with the brushes, the Adams polishes, all-purpose eco cleaner, all that will be down in the description box below, so that way you guys can make sure you have everything when you tackle this DIY. Alright, first things first, we're going to remove the cowl assembly. You're going to take an 8mm 3/8 drive, long extension, just so you can get all the way in the back, and then just a few clips to take that off. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the washer line from the cowl. So you're just going to pull up right here. Next, we're going to move both boxes. There's one here and there's one over there. Just pull back on this tab. There's a little clip right here. And there's a clip back here. Pull it out like that. You're going to pull off your sensor. Just twist it until it comes out. You can just go ahead and route this and put this right over here. Same process as before. Move the tab here, here as well. If you have the BMW alarm, you'll need to remove that. But snake it over here, put it right there. Same exact process as the other side. Tab in the back, tab in the front, pull right out. So two simple 8mm bolts, one right here and one on exactly on the other side. 8mm right here. Next, to remove the wiring from the cowl, you're going to take a flathead screwdriver. Now you're just going to pry in here to help pry it out. Sometimes it can just come right out, just like so. These clips right here, you're just going to take the flathead. 1, 2, 3. This will help you release the wiring from the cowl. So that way you can pull it all out. So take that hex 5. Loosen those up. Now we're ready to remove the entire engine cover. All you have to do, once you get your two in the back done and taking those out, all easy to get to, by the way. You're gonna lift up and then out. Once we have everything out, and the main reason, like I was telling you, as far as there's just so much oil that retains down in this heat shield down here, so we want to be able to remove it out. Now to access it, to be able to get it out, we're going to want to remove our boost solenoids. So here we're going to have a 10mm nut here at the top, one there on number 1 and another one over here on number 2. Now there is the same configuration for the bottom. See this little bracket right here? We just have to remove that out by 80%, so that way we can just slide out the boost solenoids, and then that way once I do the torques on the bottom that hold this heat shield on, then we can be able to pull it all the way off. So we'll go ahead and unplug both boost solenoids so we can get those out of the way. You're going to want to take your 10mm ratchet and go ahead and unscrew this top bolt here. That's like that. So to get the heat shield tray off, there are 4 E8s at the bottom. Move just like that. Alright, to get the other E8 that's right here, I have to really get your arm twisted at an angle. And then pull on that. To make things easier on space, so we have a E8 that's literally right down here. Going to be impossible to try to get your hands down in there. So we're just going to remove the vacuum canisters right here. Very simple to do that. That way I can get my arm underneath and then get to the bolts I need to get to. Pull off these lines. Lift this up. Pull each one like this. There we go. And that way we can get that much needed bottom access. Keep taking it off. You'll see the whole heat shield move, of course. This is your last one. To help us get to the top nut on that first solenoid, I removed the heat shield out of the way so that way I can tilt it up more this way, and that way I can just get my socket onto there, because the space is just terrible. You can't just get anything into anything. Gives us room to this top one. Got that top one removed. All right, with the tray loose, this might get us the room that we need to get to. I'm kind of propping this up a little bit. I more so want to slide it forward. Now remember, you only need to remove it just a little bit. You don't want to remove it all the way out. So all you have to do is loosen up this bottom bolt. Now when I take out the heat shield, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Loosen it up just a little bit so that way you can slide the boost solenoid up and then off its post. Loosen up the bottom nut so that way we can then slide that one out, off of this post right here, and then the heat shield will come right out. All right, 10 millimeter, like I mentioned, 1/4 inch drive, just because of the space, just because so you can have a small ratchet there. So I just have one nut to loosen up just a little bit before I can pull the back solenoid off, and then the heat shield will come all the way out. Should be able to get into here. Yeah, space is definitely not the best. Now we can try to snake this heat shield out. Pull it out like that. There you go. Here's the heat shield. Much better close up as far as to see all the residual oil. Now, the valve cover will sit like right here. There's no oil coming from the valve cover, it's just down in here. And it gets down in these crevices, cracks, and it will start to weep through right here. It's the weirdest thing that it seeps through here. Right here, it'll puddle up just a little bit, and then therefore, I mean, as you can see, this thing was terrible. I had a valve cover leak for the longest time. I had a lot of just oil down in there. It was definitely needed to take out the vacuum canisters so that way I can get to the bottom bolts. The bottom front one right here, because it's impossible to get to a lot of this stuff. So what I did is I just took the boost solenoids, they're just sitting down there right now, but I took them off their post a little bit, because this bottom nut right here on both sides, it is definitely hard to get those all the way out because of, as you can tell, the space with the solenoids wrapped around it. It's really hard to be able to get them all the way off, so you don't want to remove them all the way, just remove them like 80%, and then you'll tilt the solenoids out so that way you can make sure to slide them out, and that way you don't have to take all the vacuum lines off of that. Now, I was going to go that route, I really truly was, just to take them out so that way I can just, one less step to get some more room. But, first time just taking it out, it wasn't necessary. It didn't take really long at all to get to all 4 of the E8s that are along the bottom. To clean along the engine right here, anything that's spilled down there, I'm going to use just a clean microfiber towel just so I can see how much oil I'm really getting off. And then I'm using the Adams Polishes Eco All-Purpose Cleaner, so that way you can see that. And then just a matter of spraying it on there so I can have a good cleaner, and then clean along down the side here. To clean it, we are going to be using Adams Polish's Eco All-Purpose Cleaner, and then this brush kit that I have. What we're going to do is just take the all-purpose cleaner. I want to get this so it can soak down in here really well. And wash it out. Use the brush. This is the only brush that I used to clean that. And of course, with my Adams Polish's Eco All-Purpose Cleaner. So this is what I use as well. Let's get down in there. And then drying it off with a clean rag. Here's what we have as of right now. This is the clean. No more oil. So when we put this back in, should have no more oil that weeps on through. Like through the crevice right there. And as you remember, it was pretty bad where there was just oil in all different spots. So it's nice to get this all cleaned out. Alright, with the heat shield ready to go, all clean, I'm going to slide it down through here. With the tray down in there, as you can see, slide it this way down in, move the solenoids up. We'll put those back on their posts right here, and then once I do that, I'll push it back up, and then I'll secure the front one first, so that way it has something to stand up on, and then go through and tighten all the other ones. Let's take the first solenoid. Get it up here close to the front. Next we'll take the second one. A little bit hard with space here. Take our 10mm 1/4 inch drive, mostly because of the space. Here's a quick glance. Solenoids attached to their post on the tray. We're going to go ahead and plug both of the connectors in. As you can see there's the front one, there's the back one. We'll do that now. Alright. So you got this one that's up here. Plug that one in. Back one is right here. Okay. All right, next we're going to take our little tiny E8s. These hold on the heat shield tray. So we have to position it up and then try to line it up. All right, next you want to take your next E8 bolt. That way we can get it in the tray. Tighten up this back one. There's one way in the back over here. Quarter-inch drive, E8 Torx socket, just because of the space, of course. And then tighten all these up. And then once your boost solenoids are in, it's going to look like this. You have just on them post. You have the heat shield all attached. Next we're going to install our vacuum canisters. Take our 10mm, put it in right there. And next we'll attach the vacuum lines. Take your engine cover.
This is a Chuki Beat production.
Guys, there you have it, the DIY on how to remove your BMW N54 turbo heat shield. This was very vital just because since I had a major oil leak from the valve cover gasket, therefore I had a lot of oil, a lot of residual oil down in that heat shield. It would start to puddle up, make it look like I did the valve cover gasket wrong. It's definitely a big pointer out. Thanks to the viewer that brought it up. Like I said, I wasn't even considering thinking about it, but it's definitely very important after once I pulled it off and seeing how much old residual oil was down in there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little DIY. Definitely just take the time to take it out and then get it all cleaned up when you're doing the valve cover gasket. It's going to save you the headache and then the time to come back in the garage and mess with it again. Well guys, thanks for stopping in, and as always, please be sure to subscribe, like this video, comment below. See you on the next DIY. Take care.